So I'm going to start here by, let's see, I need to open PowerPoint. So let's do that. And then I can share. All right, it's getting there here. All right, and now I'll start sharing my screen. And this is the screen I want to share. And I'm hoping everyone can see my screen. Does that look good? Looks like PowerPoint? Great. All right, I am literally going to start from the beginning, and I'm going to break it at certain points and ask you to do the same thing. And I'll ask Jenny to create the breakout rooms. So we have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. No, we have 8, 9, what, 10? Cool. Well, like I said, we'll get groups of 2 or 3 and have you work together. So the beginning of all of this, let me go and find my handout. One of the things that I will have for you is a handout that discusses the 5 things you need in gamification. I was not planning on going through this thing and telling you all about it. It's for you to read, but understand that I see gamification about 3 packages. There are serious games, there's game-based learning, and there's gamification. Serious games are games that are done by hospitals and medical personnel and the military and others who you might be playing a game, but it's to be taken seriously because lives are in danger if you don't learn what you need to learn. So those are serious games. Game-based learning would be something like tic-tac-toe or using, a lot of companies use quiz games that like Jeopardy and things like that, but they put in business questions. So that would be game-based learning. And then there's gamification, where we use game strategies and game psychology. And we're going to talk a little bit about motivators to create your game and to get people involved and then learn something from it. So I'll let you read that. I did not intend to go into it in depth. So where we are going to start, though, is how could you use techniques inside of PowerPoint to create a game? It might be an escape room. It might be some other type of game. Escape rooms are kind of popular, so I use that as the title. But we're going to click to start, create a slide. And I'm going to choose the layout. I right-click over here and go to layout. And I want the title only layout. And I'm going to title this first slide. And you may want to make notes on these because you're going to create 5 slides. And I want you to name them this way. So the first slide is going to be called menu. And then I'm going to just right-click and duplicate this slide. And the second slide is going to be called reception. And this is going to be an escape game or a game where you're going to be inside of an office. So I'm going to also duplicate, and this slide is called meeting. And I'm going to duplicate one more slide. And this one is going to be the coffee shop. And the 5th slide, we're going to name surprise. So you have 5 slides and they have titles. One of the reasons why you want titles on your slides is when you create these links to make your game, if your slide doesn't have a title, you're not going to know where to connect. And so that's one of the reasons for doing it. Another reason is for those people who are concerned about accessibility and having others and not having barriers to the games and the e-learning that you create. Having titles on slides helps them function when they're using screen readers and information like that. I'm not going to be able to go full accessibility on this, but there are things like that that you want to pay attention to. Now, we don't really want the title to show. There are a couple of ways of getting rid of titles. One of those is to push it off the edge like that, and the title will still be connected to the slide, and we'll still know what's going on. but we won't actually see it as part of the game. Another thing that you can do is you can change the color of the text, and we'll show you in a minute how that might work, and it might make sense. So one of the things I want to do first then on my first slide is I want to insert pictures. And let's see. I need to get you your pictures, don't I? I didn't think of that. Let's put in, there's one way of doing this. And let me get to the chat. And let's put this in the chat. This link you can use, click the link and it will take you to Articulate Review, where in the resources you will be able to download the images. Okay, so that's one thing that you can do for this time slot. I'm going to go back to sharing, and I'm going to go back to the document. So what we want to do is bring in a picture. Let's talk about one more thing before we jump too far down that track. And let's talk about where do we get images. And that's, I've got that in the resources as well. I like to use, for resources, I like to use FreePick. And I have a, okay, what's going on here? I have a subscription to FreePick because that allows me to use any kind of image. And I tend to prefer to use vector images or illustrations, drawings, rather than actual pictures or photographs. And so when I am in a situation like that, so if I want to get copies of buildings or want to find a building, I will just search for building. And in fact, the building I was using should have been right in here. But typically when I find the building that I want to use, that's funny, the first page the other day, but I've saved it in the link that I was showing you. But if you like this building, if you wanted to build a game around it, you can copy that or download it and put that in your project. In this case, this device and I have the images here. Oops, there it is, office building. Now, one of the issues that you have with PowerPoint is if I build something like this, and if I put the image on the top of the slide, if I want to do something else with it, like, for example, if I want to insert a shape that I'm saying I'm going to use to create a door in the building, the problem is if I click in the wrong place and hit the image and then hit the delete key, I've created a problem. So one of the things I like to do is I like to format background, picture or texture fill, click insert, and I get the same file, but now it's the background. And I can't do anything to this picture. I can't harm it in any way. And so if I want to put another shape on it like this, and I want to make that a black door instead, now it doesn't matter where I click. I'm not going to change my background and disrupt the game or disrupt what I'm building. So I'm going to have you in a minute do the same things. You're going to need to go to the link that I shared, and let's go to that link.
Is that in the chat or is that?
It's in the chat. Yeah, the link that I shared in chat will take you to what I'm showing on the screen now. And if you go, yeah, if you go down here to next, Right here is a file that you can download that will have all of the images in it. You would need to unzip the image when you get it down. So you click on this link and it will download the file. You can see it downloads right away. And then you'll need to grab that zip file and unzip it to get the images. So I'm going to put another image in, and I'm going to go to the background, format background, picture or texture, insert, and I want to find a file called reception. And it should look like this. Same thing for meeting. Now, notice once you get working on a project, format background stays here, and you just click picture, insert, and in this case, I'm looking from the word meeting right here. And then I want to find the coffee shop. So picture, insert, and here's coffee shop. And then for the last one, the picture and insert, and we're going to look for the Space Mountain. So what I'd like to give everybody time to do is to do just that much. Set up the 5 slides, bring images into the 5 slides. And even if you bring in a different image, you can use the same techniques that I'm going to show you to make it work. Because mainly what we're going to be doing is creating links and using animations to build things and make them work together. So I'm going to quit sharing, and Jenny, if you would create the groups and let people get together.
Okay,
Somebody
did you want me to say, I'm sorry. Did you want me to just do 2 groups?
We'll do 2 people to a group. That would give us what, 1, 2, looks like 3.
3.
Oh, Jenny, I'm driving, so don't put me in a group. This is Shani.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
Could you repaste the link? Because I switched from my phone to my laptop and
Sure.
I didn't get the link. Thank you.
So I was going to do it automatically, but Shawnee, you said you don't want to be in a group, so.
Well, I mean, you could put me in a group, but I won't be able to do anything because I'm driving. So like if you
Right.
go.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
3
you-
groups.
Yep. And then the goal will be for one person to open PowerPoint, create your 5 slides, add titles, and bring in images.
Okay. All right. Let me just. All right. Let's open this.
Okay. Well, let's see. Yvette, did nobody else get in your group? This is the #1 challenge with Zoom. Getting groups set up. Okay. That's going to be interesting. Whoops. Which is which? This is the meeting. Okay. Can I go into a breakout room?
We're still here. Okay. Everybody else is still in the room. That's why.
Oh, okay. I think I like have the power to like end all the breakout rooms, but I don't want to do that if,
No, not if everybody's still working.
yeah, they'll just go ahead and come on out. Well, it's a shame the other folks couldn't join.
Yeah, that was a bummer. I was looking forward to this one.
Yeah, well, he's turning it, he's doing it.
Yeah. Rolling with it. Oh, Vanessa's gonna like this image. I'm looking at the images that they sent.
Oh, the ones that he,
Yeah, there's one actually with the doors, like right there.
yeah. I got them downloaded and all, but I didn't put them in.
No, I didn't. I mean, I just downloaded them as he sent the link, so I'm just happen to be looking through them. What was I gonna say? I wonder if you can make I'm sure it's possible to make an escape room using Articulate as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could do a lot with it in Articulate.
Yeah.
Where did he say to do that? Was he putting it in the master slide and making it a background? Was that what he did? I was like trying to figure out the breakout room thing while he was explaining that.
No, so you go, you create all the slides you need, and then you go to each slide. So menu, you're using the office background,
Yeah.
complex background, and then reception, you put that one in as a background. So it's not a master slide. Each different slide has its own background. You just got to do it individually.
Right. But I mean, he was talking about making it a background so that it was locked so that you wouldn't mess up, you wouldn't move it around or anything.
Yeah, that's how, is by inserting it as the background of the slide. So you go to the slide itself, whichever, so we'll start with the menu one. You
Yeah.
right click on menu. And then there should be a format background.
Oh, I see. Okay. I've
And
never
then-
used that feature with PowerPoint. Thanks.
Yeah, I had to do this a lot.
Okay,
With
I think we
previous
brought
people.
everybody back. I think we're getting there. Okay, so let's kind of do a quick review and see what's next. So let me share. And again, to kind of go back over it, you should have 5 slides with these pictures in it. And we've got these titles for reception and meeting and coffee shop. Part of the reason why I set it up this way is to give you an idea of, you want to be able to link from one file to another. On the first slide, we have this building, and I put a shape here, and I'll just do that again. I'm going to insert shape. I'm going to draw a rectangle, and I'm going to have it be black in color. And I want this shape to actually link me to the next slide. And so I go up to insert, link, insert link, but the link is going to be in this document, placed in this document. Notice how we can now see our slide titles. So if I click the word reception, I even see the same picture in reception as I see over here with slide number 2, and I click OK. So clicking that fake door, if you will get me to the next slide. There's some other things, though, we're going to have to do with this to make sure that that's all that we click. But we've got the format shape working for us. And the other thing that we want to do is we don't want these titles sticking out. So one of the things that you can do is you can highlight the word reception. And under home, if you click the down arrow for your font colors and click the eyedropper, click the background color, it kind of causes it to disappear because it's the same color.
Oh,
That eyedropper is great.
Yeah, the eyedropper is cool. And so again, you can either push it off the slide, or you can change the color of the text and it blends away and you don't see it. The issue you might have, though, is if you've got a long title like this, we're going to talk about how do I keep from clicking on it. We'll cover that in a couple of minutes. So what I'm going to have you do is go back to your breakout room and see if you can make these changes so that, again, you can highlight meeting, go to the font color, eyedropper, and pick a color that's going to make it disappear. So let's give that a shot. I don't know if we're gonna all get back in the same groups or not, but go ahead and Jenny, send us into our groups.
Okay.
Okay. All right, get everybody back. My screen keeps changing size. All right. So let's talk about the next thing that starts to get us to parts that are a little bit more fun, more game-like, and that is we're going to go to the reception slide, and I'm going to have you take a couple of steps, and after I get this done, I'm going to have you go do it as well. But one of the things that you can do to make something game-like is we want something to happen when people click on the screen, right? So we're going to click insert. I'm going to choose a shape. I'm going to choose an oval shape, and I want to put it around this little flower here. Now, the problem, of course, is that shape has got a color in it. That's going to not make any sense. But if we go over here to the Format Shape window, and where it says transparency, if we change it to 100%, now we can see something. I'm going to leave the border visible. When I'm creating games like this, I leave the borders visible so that I can tell what the heck is going on and where things are located without clicking around like I can't see. So that's one thing we're going to do. So you're going to create this oval shape, put it around the flower, and change the transparency to 100%. That's also a good thing game-wise, because even though you've got the transparency at 100%, it still acts as if it's a solid object. So it will turn the cursor into a hand, which is a good thing too. The other thing I want to do is insert a text box, and I'm going to insert a message here. And the message is going to be, I'm going to center that. I'm going to type not here. And I want this text to be formatted. There's a bunch of ways to format things, but notice we're on the format shape panel because we have created a shape. I want it to be a solid fill, and I want it to be white. So I'm going to create those two things, the oval and the text. So let's have you do the same thing. And then we're going to create the animation that makes the thing work. So let's do the, let's go back to groups, create your oval and your text box. Okay, and the good news is, like I said, this is all recorded, so you can follow up on it again later. But all right, so what I want to show you is, okay, how do we make it kind of like a game? Let's go here. We've got, okay. So the issue is this: we have this slide and we have this clue not here. If we don't do anything to it, obviously, when somebody comes to this slide, it's going to say not here. It's not going to
maybe
be.
outline it if you wanted the under on the lower right. Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the words not here, the text box, and I'm going up to animations. I had to find it first. And I want to click the animation appear.
Recording in progress.
Okay. Yeah, we've got some feedback. Okay. So we're going to click the word appear, and we're going to go over here to the word trigger and click and say on the click of, well, we know it's an oval, but you know, that kind of doesn't make any sense. So what do we need to do? There's something that you can do in PowerPoint to make building a game a lot simpler. So let's go there. I chose to not tell you up front. We're going to click on the shape. We're going to go up here to shape format. We're going to click what's called the selection pane. The selection pane allows you to name objects or anything that's going on and to put them in any order you want them in. So let me do that again. We click not here, we click shape format and then selection pane. And the selection pane allows us to change this from the word oval to this is our flower clue. Or actually it's the link. It's the flower link. And then instead of this being called text box, notice you have to change the name. You have to click in the box. And then another thing you can do is you can do Control A, and that's going to allow you to change the text all at one time. And so I'm going to call this flower clue. This is the clue that happens when you click on the flower. Now, I didn't change this box. We know it's the title, but again, I like to label things so that I know what they are. And I'm going to call this reception. So in other words, click that away. The selection pane helps us to keep track of what we're building when we create a game so that we know this is a clue, this is a link. As we add more things to it, we'll know what they are. So I hope that makes sense. So since we haven't done that yet, I'm going to do one more example. Click Insert, Shape. I'm going to do a rectangle. I'm going to put a shape around the briefcase. And I'm going to call this briefcase link because it's what we're going to click on. And then I also want to switch to the format painter, and I want this to be 100% transparent. And then I also want a message down here. So I'm going to insert the text box. And the message is going to say, yes, this is the key, click again. And I want this to be formatted the same as the other one. Does everybody know about Format Painter? You click an object, you go up here to Format Painter, and then what you click after that is the same format. So Format Painter is a way of saving you time. You're not having to individually format things. You can literally copy it. That's what Painter does. Okay, so let's break that down. Let's go back to our groups and first of all, and make sure that you're in the selection pane and that you label everything that's in here. Like, okay, so text box 5. See, that doesn't tell me anything. I need to call this is the briefcase clue. So you want to make sure that you label all your objects in the selection pane. So let's Okay. 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 All right, so hopefully you're not all lost because there are a bunch of steps. What I want to do next is in this, especially in this case with this message that said, yes, this is the key. We need to animate it. We need it to work when you click the link. So again, we're going to go to animations. We're going to tell it to appear. And the trigger is going to be on the click of the briefcase link. So that way, this briefcase makes this appear. This oval makes this link appear. The only way we're going to know if that works is we have to click here and actually get the PowerPoint to run. So we click here and we get our message. We click here and we get this message. Okay. So let's go back and do it. And then I'm going to show you how to bring in animation, another animation.
All right, we're back. What?
We could crash their meeting. Their breakout room.
That's a thing. Oh, join breakout room. Look at that.
I could see how he could do a session 2 on this, right? For 2 reasons. One, because so many people couldn't join, but also there's probably a bunch more steps.
So many more.
Yeah.
Just looking at his excuse me, at his storyline project.
You were just looking at what?
The storyline link that he sent,
Oh,
videos and stuff in it.
oh, okay. I'll take a look at that too.
I can see.
They must be really making more and more triggers in there.
Or triggers. That's not fair. They got the instructor to.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm doing that now just because I'm having fun and I think it's cool.
It is cool.
Jenny, have you started working?
Well, I have one contract that I've been doing since January. articulate storyline, so 2 courses. And I just got a year-long contract with Bristol Myers Squibb. It's supposed to start on the 25th for e-learning. Thank you for asking. I'm like so happy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And the BMS position on site or remote?
It sounds like they're trying to figure that out. At this point, it's remote/hybrid, but it's the New Brunswick office. It's not the Princeton
Oh,
or Lawrence.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks. I'm
So
happy.
exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what kind of e-learning, or like, is it for all of the divisions or just a specific one?
It's for this project that's dealing with standardizing all their different siloed kind of trainings for internal employees. So there's a lot of, listening and talking, and then branding and standardizing. I didn't get too many details, but that's sort of the gist of it. So part of the role will be sitting in on many of these teams and being the eyes and the ears, and then translating that to, the team lead. And yeah, but it's all going to be articulate storyline for the most part, which is great because, that's what I'm working in. So
That seems to be a common theme amongst the pharma companies. I was just doing something similar for Takeda Pharmaceuticals.
oh, really?
Just augmenting their staff for a few months. And that was basically a lot of the role. Well, I ended up putting together articulate training for them, but their centralized L&D team does the same thing. Like,
Really?
because everyone does their own like training. Every like product has their own division and whatnot. They assign an instructional designer to be the eyes and the ears, like you were saying,
Huh.
making sure they're doing, like good adult learning practice and all of that.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Sometimes it felt like babysitting though, because there were like vendors that were creating the projects. And I
Okay.
felt like today I knew they had slipped on a timeline, so I developed with them, and I'm like, I feel like a babysitter right now.
That's
But it was cool.
interesting. It's an interesting
yeah.
role. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
I
and
think
Prime is back at my house.
Okay. All right. So, let's see. Vanessa, in your group, were you able to get that to work? Okay. Okay. We had an issue in our group where the link became circular. That is, when we clicked the briefcase clue, it didn't come up. So let me stop sharing that. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to stop the presentation. That's what I wanted to stop. You got to make sure that where it says, after you've clicked the clue, that you click the trigger on click of, it has to be the briefcase link. And there was something kind of out of issue with Nancy, so we'll have to take a look at that again. But okay, what I want to do is introduce one more thing. Let's see, we only have a half hour left. So I want to introduce one more thing that's going to be vital to your making all this work. So let me show you what's going on. The thing with PowerPoint is that if you click any place on the slide, it's always going to go to the next slide. So let's do that as a demo. So if I click here, it goes to the next slide and slide and slide. And so that's not a game.
Even if you have triggers and things set up?
That's what you have to do. You have to have, I call it a cover. In the, it's funny, the word trigger, PowerPoints have triggers now that we just saw. All of this is so much easier in an authoring program. It's easier than PowerPoint, but if this is the only product you have, you can make it work. So, but I create what I call a cover. So I'm going to go to shapes and put in a shape. I've got my shape, and I'm going to format. Why is my format pane not popping up? Well, let's do it this way. Here we go. Format shape, got it. And we want to go to transparency. We want to make it 100% transparent. What we want to do is we want to have this insert link, insert link. And this is where we actually want this cover thing to always go back to the same slide, menu slide. We want it to essentially go back to itself. So that way, when I click on this, it won't go to the next slide. However, I do want it to when the door works, I want it to click. So I have to go back to my selection pane. And notice this says rectangle 8. I'm going to call it cover. And I'm going to move this. It has to move down below this. So again, let's walk through the thing. Let's show it as a demonstration. Now, when I click on the building, it doesn't go anywhere. But if I click on the door, it goes to the next slide because the door is the link. The cover, if you will, the object that I call cover is linked to itself. And I've turned off my, let's do insert again. Here we go, show it on the ribbon. Insert, link, and I'm linking the cover to menu. I'm linking it to itself. And I would do the same thing on this screen. I don't want the player to move forward until they click the link I want them to click. So I have to insert a shape. And I'll do this to be repetitive. Paint, there we go, the paintbrush, make it 100%. And then I want to insert link, and I'm linking this to itself, to reception. But again, in the selection pane, call this cover. I don't want this to be in front of other stuff. I can't click the oval now because the cover's in the way. So I have to push that down below the other links I want to click. Does that make sense?
You don't have to name it a different cover for each slide because it's specific to the slide.
No, you do have, yeah, you do have to make a separate cover for each slide. You do, yes.
Right, but you don't have to name it like cover, menu, cover, reception, cover, meeting. Like you don't have to have it that specific, right?
You don't have to. If you're comfortable with that, you would, but yeah, you don't have to. So let's definitely do the demonstration again. So if I click over here, I'm not going anywhere. I am, in fact, but I'm going back to myself. But now the flower and the briefcase work because the cover, if you will, is keeping everything else from working.
Okay.
So then the only other thing that I would want to do, and let's just go ahead and demonstrate it. I want to insert an image. They call the key click me. I like this image of the key, but I made the image have the words click me in it so that it would be easier for the player. I don't have to bring in another text. And what I want to have happen is I want an animation. And in this case, I want it to bounce in. I want it to be a little bit more fun. Here we go, bounce. But I don't want it to bounce in until on click of the briefcase link. What's interesting is when you create two links on an object, it will play both links. So let's take a look at that. First of all, let's change this to the key. And then the key is what we will make link to the next slide. Let's play it. So I can't move any place else, but oh, that clue didn't work. There's another clue. Click again, here comes the key. So it's kind of fun the way PowerPoint works is you can have two actions on the same object.
That's nice.
Yeah, yeah. There are some limitations to it, and then I would make the key be what takes me to the next slide. So I guess let's give you the last few minutes here to see if you can duplicate this. So I'm going to stop the sharing and let's go with the room.
I just don't want to say the breakout room because then I'm like, are they going to wait for us if they go back too soon?
I think you said you're making something with doors, right?
Mhm. So yeah, it's gonna be a hospital waiting room.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was a picture in the file that the articulate file that he put in, where you download the PDF, or not the PDF, the
Image.
I'm sorry?
The images.
Yeah, the images, and there's a image in there of a bunch of doors. I don't know if that's helpful or not, but
Oh, I'll check that out.
I saw that and I was like, she was talking about doors. I get I spend way too much time looking for images sometimes. That'll
Rabbit
probably-
hole.
yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. How do you like, I mean, I end up just like making my own in Illustrator quickly sometimes if it's something simple.
I have a graphic designer that like if I can't find what I want, I'll have them create something. But yeah, it's so hard, and it's hard for me sometimes with images, like the diversity in them.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's like it still
It's not
doesn't.
there.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is it because we put a Black person, it's diverse. I'm like,
No.
still not really showing what work is like, but it's okay. You're
There's
trying.
there's a couple of free things. Humans, but it's humans with a bunch of A's.
Yeah.
You know about that one? Okay.
Mhm.
That one's really good. And then Sketch had another one too. Let me see. I don't know if I can open Sketch when I have everything else open right now, but I can't even log in right now. Okay, that's a no. There was something else too. I think it's called Blush.
That one I haven't heard.
Yeah, it's another. It might have been $10 or no dollars. Free animation stuff. And Animaker is pretty good too. Free-ish. And you
Yeah.
can customize your people, so you can get the
Okay.
level of diversity you want. Which I'm trying to be very, very cognizant of with everything that I'm designing right now.
Yeah, same. Exactly.
Mhm. The sad thing is I really wasn't super aware of any of that until I worked in an almost entirely minority school. And then I was like, I worked in North Plainfield, New Jersey for, for about I was there for 4 years. And I, at that point I was, once you go through that, it's
Okay.
meet all these people, it's very, very different after that.
Okay.
A whole new
Well,
world.
it kind of looks like we're gonna, first of all, I did give everybody the link. So you have 9 videos to walk you through these steps and even a few more. If you want to go that far into the depth, you can. Feel free. But if you get stuck, you can email me, let me know. My information is in there. But it kind of looks like we might need to get back together again sometime. So maybe we can work that out. Have another session where we can work together. I can take a look at what you're building and we can see where things are going wrong. The one problem Nancy was having was persistent. It looked like it was going to work, but it didn't. So anyway, let's see where we are. Yeah, we've got about 10 minutes left, and I don't want to hold you over. Questions? Anything else that you want to know about that we didn't cover?
What's it gonna look like at the end?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can show you that. Let's do that. Let's see. Screen one. Let's get rid of that. Let's save that. Let's do the whole thing. Yeah, because the thing that we didn't get to is what makes it a game besides the links and all that sort of stuff. And here it comes up. You can put in quiz questions. You can put in puzzles. And all those things can help make it a game. So if we did the whole thing from soup to nuts, okay, we've got this set up so that we can't click any place but the door. And then we have instructions on the room. We didn't talk about that, but people would have to hunt around and click things, and they would get clues, and those clues would help them find the next clue. And oh, okay, I know I need to click this. If we click the wrong answer, then it tells us to try again. I've got it set up that it always says try again. Or if I click it correct, then the correct answer bobbles. And then now I can go on. And then here's another situation. I've got to find the answer in the room to let me to move on. Well, in this case, it's just that shrub. And in this case, where are the differences? Well, I could build in, see like, okay, I look at the teddy bear. Was the teddy bear different? No, the teddy bear is not different. Oh, the sun is over here, but it's not here. And of course, with PowerPoint, you can build in the little fun animations, but then and of course, the circles would all be gone in the one that you want people to play. And then you always have a button where they move forward. And then in this case, there's a hidden wall here. Well, where's the wall? Well, it's here. And behind the door is the way to get out. And then in this case, I built what's called a mask. The top half of the mountain is a separate piece of image, so that when I click the moon rises. And that takes me to the next level. So it's the kind of thing where you can build pretty much anything you want to, if you're willing to spend the time and go at it.